So today we're talking about social media and social media specifically during the holiday season. Uh, Social media campaigns are really, really important during the holiday season, and they really take off during this time of year too. Everyone from Starbucks to Old Navy spend the last part of the year pushing out Christmas and holiday-themed campaigns to promote their products, promote their services, and especially a lot of companies have been promoting initiatives as well, which we'll get to in a bit. Having a specialty product or promotion during this time of year is really effective, and it can be really rewarding if you do it right. When a business is creating or designing a product, that's challenging enough, but trying to get it to hit or stick to the right people or to your right market is pretty challenging, especially if you're a small business and you don't have larger resources like a large business does. So today we're going to talk about holiday social media strategies that you can plan for your company during the holiday season, and really these are incredibly transferable for throughout the year, at least the strategy is. And we'll also give some examples of what's worked for other businesses and maybe some ideas that you can take away today. First things first, we're just going to kind of go through back to basics, and I'll touch on all of these a little bit more later on. But audience, who do you want to reach? What do they like? What do they dislike? What do they want to hear about? Medium is going to be, what platform would be best to target your audience. There's a bunch that we'll go over today. I think I'm mostly going to stick with Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And then the message is what the bulk of the conversation will be about today. What do you want to communicate to your customers? And then lastly, metrics. Metrics are very underrated when it comes to social media. It's really important to continue to track your engagement throughout your social media campaigns so that you can use it for next year, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So first, let's get right into audience. So knowing who you want to target your message to is incredibly important. And many times, especially if you're in retail, you have the challenge of attracting many audiences for a variety of products. These are companies like Old Navy or Macy's who they have a lot of stuff in their stores, and they want a lot of people to come and check out their merchandise. So Old Navy actually does a great job in targeting multiple segments with one campaign. If you can see the photo on the right hand of your screen, Old Navy they launch a line of family pajamas every year during Christmas, and they sell like hotcakes because they're really, really cute. They're fun designs, and the super affordable Old Navy prices, and the whole family can match. So they've really done a great job of targeting children and teens, and obviously the parents in the household. Now, if you're looking to expand your audience to a specific segment, it's really important that you do your fair share of research on whichever demographic you're looking to expand to. It's very dangerous to assume anything about the people you want to reach. So make sure you're doing your due diligence and collecting data and really figuring out what your audience likes before moving on to the next step. Lagavulin is a single malt whiskey company. They were trying to expand their audience to the millennial generation, my generation, during the 2015 holiday season. What happened was the traditional Yule log. People like to be around the fire, to hear the crackling noise, and so people were recording Yule logs, crackling fire, and posting them to YouTube. And Lagavulin really wanted to do something a little bit different. And they knew that Nick Offerman, who plays Ron Swanson in the NBC show Parks and Rec, was very popular among my generation. And he kind of has the perfect amount of, brash humor, but, kind of masculine, very funny guy. So they created a 45-minute video of an uninterrupted Nick Offerman sipping on Lagavulin by the Yule log. And it was kind of just the right amount of humor and absurdity that we enjoy. It was like a traditional Yule log YouTube video, but but it was with Nick Offerman. He was bringing Lagavulin was bringing Nick Offerman into people's homes, and they really did a great job. So much so that the video currently has 3.3 million views on YouTube, and I'm sure it'll go up after this Christmas season as well. So medium kind of goes hand in hand with the audience portion. If you've done your research well enough, you'll know exactly what social media platform would work best for the audience you're trying to reach. Medium can change depending on which segment you're targeting. If you're trying to attract a younger generation, you'd be better off sticking to Instagram or Snapchat. But for millennials or Gen Z, you're definitely good to go with Facebook. You can see up on the screen that it's no surprise. For those of us among 24 and older, Facebook is definitely the preferred platform of choice. And if you don't have a presence at all on Facebook, I strongly recommend that you do, because that's a big chunk of people that you're missing. It's really also important to note the relevance of YouTube. Lately, in the last few years, YouTube's creators have done a great job in making themselves appealing to a wide range of audiences, which is why I think they've been so successful. YouTube in general, videos are a lot more dynamic than scrolling or still images. We want something a little bit more entertaining than just photos. And again, as I said, Instagram and Snapchat are much more popular among the younger populations, probably because they know how to use the technology more than a lot of the older, later generations do. So those would be great campaigns if you're trying to target a younger demographic. Twitter, for the most part, as you can see, it's pretty even among the most age groups, between like 5, 6, 7. Twitter is a great place to engage with your audience. So I would strongly recommend also at least creating a Twitter account so you can build and kind of interact with the community around you. Next, I want to talk about messaging. All right, so once you've decided how you want to reach your target audience, you can start crafting your message. Do you want to promote a holiday product? Do you want to do a giveaway for something? Are you offering a new service for the holidays or a discounted service? Or maybe you just want to get your company's mission out to the company. So these are all questions that you should think about when you're talking about your message. Crafting your message and creating content to push out your product, your service, or your idea can be incredibly challenging. But I would say a good place to start is figuring out how you want your audience to feel or to react to whatever your new product or service is. So with the Nick Offerman spot, which you can kind of see a little bit of what he was just doing, just sitting there for 45 minutes. With the Nick Offerman spot created by Lagavulin, they wanted their audience to go purchase their whiskey, right? That was their main idea. But they also created a little bit of a conversation starter. So should consumers swap the traditional Yule log video for the Nick Offerman Yule log video? But more than that, subconsciously, should they swap their current whiskey for Lagavulin, something that apparently Nick Offerman drinks? Another great example of someone who had a really spot-on message was obviously Starbucks. We all know about their red cups, and I think they introduced their holiday cup in '97, and it's gone through a variety of Christmas and holiday-inspired iterations. But in 2015, remember they rolled out their Christmas cup, but it was free of any symbols or holiday artwork, and a lot of people loved it. They thought it was really, really fun and great and fresh. But a lot of people kind of were up in arms about it, about the cup starting a war on Christmas, or Starbucks starting a war on Christmas. Starbucks released a statement after the controversy broke. They said, Starbucks is inviting customers to create their own stories with a red cup that mimics a blank canvas. So that's exactly what their customers did. Their consumers put Sharpie to cup, so to speak, and created their own designs on this blank cup. And Starbucks invited customers to share their designs on Instagram using #RedCupArt. And they received more than 1,200 submissions from around 13 countries. Ultimately, 13 designs from the 2015 holiday campaign, the Blank Canvas Cup, were chosen to be featured on Starbucks Red Cups for the 2016 holiday season, as you can see up there, and which is really great. They were taking the creativity of their own consumers and using it for the following year. Starbucks' message was more than just selling coffee. It was about starting a conversation and getting people involved in their brand. There was a lot of talk about it. Even this holiday season, you're hearing about the Red Cup as well. The last example I want to give is a campaign that Greenpeace put out this holiday season, actually. They launched a global social media campaign to shrink Coca-Cola's growing plastic footprint by mimicking Coke's typical holiday campaign. Coca-Cola is famous for its widely magical YouTube videos honestly throughout the year. They always put some really cool content out, but especially during the holiday season. They're also really touching commercials. They focus on family and sharing Coca-Cola with your friends, and a lot about building community as well. But Greenpeace wasn't really happy. They're not really happy about Coca-Cola. They wanted to call them out for their environmentally unfriendly business practices. So they made a holiday video similar to Coca-Cola's style of video, but with some very different messages. So I'll play that video now. So it's pretty savage from my point of view. I mean, they don't let Coke choke our oceans. That's a pretty strong statement that they wanted to make. So I think they did a great job, and Greenpeace is an example of what nonprofits can do to really grab their audience's attention during the holiday season. So when it comes down to it, messaging is really important. How do you want your audience to feel when they are reacting to your brand? All right, now I want to talk a little bit about metrics. So measuring and tracking your social media campaign is useful for a variety of reasons. You can track how you've grown throughout the year as well as who is engaging with your brand. And you can use previous data to influence the campaigns that you do next year, depending on its success. There are a lot of terms when it comes to metrics, so I'm just going to focus on a few aspects of measuring this social media campaign. It's really important to note that what are you trying to achieve? There's many ways to track how your followers are engaging with your brand, or who is coming and seeing your brand. So here's just a few ways that you can track engagement or use metrics to help your company. So if you want to measure awareness, then you'll be looking for metrics like volume, reach, exposure, and amplification. So these all show how far your message is spreading. Reach is a really big one, and if you're using just Facebook Analytics or Twitter Analytics, you can measure all of that just right on the platform itself. They have those numbers available for you. If you want to measure engagement, then you'll look for metrics like retweets, which you can get on Twitter, comments, replies, and participants. These measurements kind of track how many people are participating in the conversation with your campaign or brand and how often they are participating, as well as how they are participating with your brand and your campaign. How a consumer engages with your brand is really important for you as a business to know, because your reaction to their comments will determine if they want to continue that interaction. So making sure that you regularly go onto Instagram or onto Facebook and see what people are commenting about in your feed or on a social media campaign that you might post about. It's important that you respond to that effectively and efficiently. If your goal is to drive traffic to your website, then you'll be able to track URL shares, clicks, mostly clicks, and conversions. So tracking traffic helps you determine if people are moving through social media to your external site, and what do they do once they're on your site. So when you post a social media campaign on Facebook, if you want people to go to your website, you'll post a link from your social media page to your website so that more people are tracking or are engaged with your website views as well. If your goal is to find advocates or fans or followers, then you'll track your followers or your contributors and your influence. You'll measure how many followers you have, and you can also see which followers have a large impact on your brand. Nick Offerman's Yule Log spot, again, I'll bring it up, a great example of using a celebrity's already pretty large following to promote another product. Marco Bulin did a great job in picking the right person to brand with, and because he already had the following that they were trying to attract. And lastly, if your goal is to increase your brand's share of voice, then you'll track your volume relative to your closest competitors or your industry. So that saying, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, really, really comes into play for this share of voice. Knowing how your competition and your industry is performing will help influence the right move for your business, because having a competitive edge over your competition, really, really important. Differentiating yourself from your competition, finding something unique to your customers and your brand will make your holiday campaign not only more personalized, but usually overall more successful. If you can do something, and if your brand can do something that differentiates your holiday social media campaign from everyone else's in the market, it'll make you really, really successful. All right, so we've gone through audience and medium and message and metrics, and now we'll talk about a couple of ideas that you can do for this holiday season. I know it's kind of coming up fast a little bit, but you've still got about like a week that you can do something fun, maybe 2 weeks if you're looking to do something for New Year's, and I know that some people carry it on kind of throughout the winter season. Just a couple of ideas, and these aren't all of them. There's a lot of. I definitely recommend you Googling things that have worked in the past. But hashtags are a great way to just get your brand out there, and also to track, who's engaging with your brand. Make it short and make it memorable. Maybe ask your clients a holiday-themed question on Twitter. Put it out there. Make a poll on Twitter. Ask, are they a hot cider person, eggnog person? Are they a hot cocoa person? So, make something fun of that just to get people talking. The Chamber actually does a really interesting social media challenge every December. We start December 1st. We go through the 31st, called the Chamber Cheer Challenge. So if you follow us on Twitter, we have it up on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, the Chamber Cheer Challenge. And usually gets a good response. Just hashtag Chamber Cheer. So make sure you make it short and memorable so that your customers, your clients, your consumers can follow it easily. Incentives. Big thing for you to do during the holiday season. If you have an event coming up, or if you have, even if you're just doing a social media campaign online, make sure you offer something to anyone who engages with your event of any kind. So if you offer free tickets or co-brand with another company to get a raffle prize, and then you can ask your customers to share or tag your company in a holiday post on your Instagram, and just make sure that you have something that they want as a prize if they win. Incentives are huge. Event promotion is also another big thing. Flash sales are pretty big this time of year. If you just take one day and people can book or buy whatever you are selling or whatever product you have, for 25% off, 20% off. This one that I chose, this is Christmas Tree Shop, did a 20% off Christmas sale, and they used a QR code, and that QR code, if people have a QR scanner, they can just download one up from their smartphone. They can take a scan of it, and that QR will go straight to the website or social media or wherever you want your consumers to engage with. And obviously, again, you can promote it via social media and incentivize it by saying anyone who books or purchases will be entered to win a free service or a prize of some sort. And then last but not least, get creative. Whether you're making people think or just having them personalize a red cup, it's important to not lose a customer in a sea of other holiday season offerings. So making sure you offer something, maybe offering something for clients' children, like a free toy with purchase, or a couple years ago, Christmas tree hair was becoming a thing. So creativity is very important to making customers feel special and also to getting them engaged in your brand. All right, just a quick recap before I take any questions that you may have. Find out who are you trying to reach, your audience. Who's your audience? What do they like? What do they not like? Where does your audience spend their time? Are they younger? Do they want to be on Snapchat and Instagram, or are they a little bit older generation, Z generation? Where are they? Facebook people? Are they? Do they want you? Are you trying to make a video, YouTube, to kind of capture all the audiences? So where do they spend their time? What do you want to say to your audience? How do you want your audience to feel when they're with the message that you're trying to put out? What do you want to put out? And what goal are you trying to achieve, right? So what metric do you want to track? Do you want more followers? Do you want people to comment more on your posts? Do you want to just make sure that you're beating your competition? So what goals are you trying to achieve? And lastly, to plan. Get creative. Do something fun. Offer an incentive. Start a hashtag on Twitter. Whatever it is, just make sure you keep the rest of those four strategies in mind. And I'll end with a little fun, happy holidays to everyone. I love animals, so that's why I put this here. But just a little happy holidays to everyone. This is the last Chamber University of the semester. So we're starting back up again next semester, and we'll start the day we'll start I think January 12th, I believe, maybe later than that, but we'll have all of the information up on our website at lvchamber.com. And if you have any questions about this presentation or about anything related to Chamber University, please give the Chamber a call or visit visit our website so you can learn a little bit more about what Chamber University is. So again, I want to thank you guys so much for listening in today. Really appreciate it, and I hope everybody has a very happy holiday.